What's up? Trying to be casual, but it's weird talking to a camera. And well, I know who watches my videos primarily, so I appreciate the views, but trying to encompass what I want to say is going to be a little difficult, because as you're watching this, I should be in Bangkok, and my dad, lovely, he told me that there's news that there's been 6 tourists who were poisoned in Bangkok as of Tuesday. Thanks for that, Dad. Am I canceling my flight? Yeah, of course I'm going to cancel my flight, not go on with this trip, and just stay home. What I do want to focus on, because while I was back, I talked to one of my friends, and everyone asks, what is my favorite book? Not everyone, some. And it's The Alchemist. And me and my friend, he also happened to like The Alchemist a lot. And it is a beautiful book. Again, it's my favorite for a reason. Now, Santiago, in this book, these flies. I'm going to give a very short version of this because it feels very similar to what I'm going through, and probably what a lot of people go through in their lives. He's a shepherd. Santiago is a shepherd of, let's say, 10 sheep. And he gets a vision or dream that there is treasure hidden by the pyramids. But he lives in Spain, so he has to make a journey to find this treasure. In order to do that, he sold all his sheep and then started making his way there. But literally the first boat ride over into Africa, he got robbed of all his money. Penniless. Nothing. So, with that adversity, he found a place, a glass shop. And he worked there for, I don't know how many years, 1, 2, 3. He worked at this glass shop and made a decent amount of money. Enough so that he gave the glass shop owner perspective and allowed him to follow his dreams. And then he ended up with enough some amount of money that he could return back to Spain and pretty much double his flock. He could have 20 sheep if he just returned back and went back to his old life. But in that time, he's like, no, it's either I continue chasing my dream or I go back to normal. And even the back to normal would be nicer than what it was before. Very tempting. But despite the fact, he went on and continued to follow his dream or find the treasure. On the way there, he met the alchemist. Apparently someone who has the philosopher's stone and can make anything into gold. He also stumbled upon an oasis where he found his love. And along the trials, he learned a lot of amazing things, gained so much perspective. He even found the love of his life. Did the impossible as well, becoming the wind and sun. And eventually, when he finally made it to the pyramids where his treasure was, he dug, and at that point, he got beat up, robbed of everything again, and was left pretty much beaten up in the desert. But at that point, one of the people who mugged him told him, don't go chasing your dreams, because I also had a dream of a field in Spain where this treasure would lie. Don't follow your dreams. And the second he said that, he's like, oh my gosh, the place he had his dream in Spain was where the treasure was. So he made that entire journey, learned so many amazing things, and then gained the perspective in order to understand the treasure he had at home. Which I think is absolutely beautiful, because as much as I'm traveling now, I know for a fact that I feel like I will come back to Calgary and this will be my home base. But in order to do that, I have to set off on a journey that is freaking terrifying. And my first bout of this travel was back in 2019. had a mechanic's job, quit that because I didn't like the job, and said, you know what? I want to travel. I want to see China. China was probably the first adventure I'd gone to or done. There's not much footage or anything of that online because I didn't do it for anyone else. I did it for me. This was me going out to that glass shop. I was out there and it was terrifying. I was terrified because it was the first time I was in a foreign country so far away from home. Far away. And I stayed there for 6 months learning martial arts. Got in shape. And when I came back, penniless. I wouldn't say penniless, but like as close to broke as you could be. I wasn't in debt, but very close to $0. And at that time, I was like, well, I can't go chasing my dreams to continue traveling afterwards. I have no money. So hunkered down, got a job. Also, not mechanics specifically, but the advisor, the administrative portion of mechanics, all the paperwork. And that became very fruitful. This job, they were willing to take a chance on me because let me tell you, I messed up a lot. Man, my coworkers really hated me when I messed up, and I did that a lot. All of them. Respectively to all my coworkers that helped train me up, oh my gosh, thank you for the patience. I messed up a lot. But they saw that I was giving it my all, had the right attitude and right outlook. I would continue to learn. And I became a really good advisor because of that. But at one point, I was like, okay, this is where Santiago had made the money. He could return back to his old life and double his flock. And I'll tell you, it's almost a close representation. I was making almost double what I had made as a mechanic. I wasn't even a mechanic, I was an apprentice. But yeah, double, and I was doing okay. I could get a house. I could get a mortgage. So what do you do, right? Do you keep chasing that dream or settle down, right? And let me tell you, settling down was very high up there. But in this past year, you can tell I didn't settle down. I said no to buying that house, getting that mortgage, quit my job, and traveled for an entire year. Mainly across Latin America. Antarctica was in there as well. But my gosh, that perspective I've gained, it's amazing. And the thing is, I don't know where my story is now. I just know I have to keep pushing. Like, in a sense, since I've been back home, it's only been 2 months. I've been able to talk to my old coworkers, my old job prospects. And I'll be straight up, there was not a job offer. I will say some of my coworkers fought heavily to offer me one, but I more or less shut them down pretty quick. They've asked, are you looking? Am I looking for a job back into my old position? And I'll be honest, I'm not. It was very tempting though, because what they pitched to me was very tempting, nonetheless. Very tempting. And a part of me misses it. Having a home base, somewhere I can say, it's my home, I can stay there and build from it, sustainability. But I'm not done. I'm nowhere near done. Now, there's mainly 2 events on this past year that really showed to me what I'm capable of. When I went to Antarctica, again, that still sounds so weird saying, because how many people, how many lucky individuals have A, the money, and B, the time and passion to go all the way down to Ushuaia, the tip of the flipping continent, and spend that type of money to go to Antarctica? I almost didn't do it because the money was a lot. And I didn't think it was going to be worthwhile. But that proved me very wrong. The people I met on that boat had the passion. We all made the conscious effort to spend that amount of money to make the trip down there and enjoy and experience something beautiful. And honestly, if I hadn't done that, it wouldn't have pushed me to go see the rest of the world. A lot of the jokes on that boat was to say like, hey, I still haven't been to Europe. It's like the first or second continent anyone really goes to. It's like their first vacation, like a family vacation, or to Italy or France or UK. You'll eventually somehow go to Europe as a kid. And my parents just never traveled. So wherever I wanted to go, I had to go choose myself. So if I've been to Antarctica, not Europe, I'm like, come on. I've done the hardest one. I've got to go see the rest, right? Right? So with that being said, I'm going to go to Oceania. That's already probably October. Go back through Asia a little bit more. Asia's massive. Already been there, and I'm going to see a lot more of it. And then Africa is next. I hope to maybe volunteer in Tanzania. I have a friend who has already done so, and she's given me their contact. So I'm going to make that contact and see how long I want to stay there for. Maybe 1, 2, 3 months. See the pyramids. Oh, see the pyramids. And then, I'll say it. Europe, I haven't been there yet. But it's going to be so fun when I get there. Because the amount of people I've met from Europe is insane. And I'm excited as there's friends in Germany, tons of them. And then there's friends in France, UK, London, Scotland, Sweden, Norway, Belgium. I don't have that many friends in Italy, but I definitely want to go to Italy. Oh, Spain as well. There's so many beautiful countries I want to see there. And funny enough, I haven't really shown North America. Like, Mexico down is more Latin America, but like for Canada and the US, I was born and raised here. I haven't really shown that part because I haven't been interested in it because I've been here. But I haven't seen much of it. Haven't been to Montreal, Quebec. US I haven't touched at all, like barely. Been to Yellowstone and New York. But there's so much more. Grand Canyons, West Coast. A lot of friends in the US as well. The entire world has now kind of just opened up. From this past year, just everyone I've met, people I've seen, people, what they've done has just inspired me to keep going. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of travelers out there already. Like, it's my 100 days of travel, or like top 10 things to do in Peru, and I find that all too cheesy. It's not genuine. They do it for the camera, and like, don't get me wrong, I am doing this for the camera and showing my life, but in a genuine way, I hope. Honestly, my close friends, I know they're watching this. If I lose touch with reality, I want you to, next time you see me, or like say you're in an emergency, I'll come, slap me. Like, I don't want to be a fake person online. I might do silly things, fake it for Instagram. Like, yeah, that's funny. But if my personality changes for oh my gosh, I straight up quit. I don't want the internet to change or my prospects to change. No, that's not me. Another thing I want to put out is that I like to push myself and do things that seem impossible. Because while I was traveling, a lot of people have done what I've done. They've been to Antarctica. They've gone through Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, Peru. Like, there's a route, a big U. You can either start in Brazil, usually Rio de Janeiro, make your way south all the way down to Ushuaia, and then up your way up Chile, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia. And they usually finish in Colombia. Or the other way around, Colombia down up to Brazil. Some people tag on Central America. A lot of people have done that. I mean, maybe not people you may know, but while you're on the trip, a lot of people do that. So what's unique that I want to continue doing during my travels, which is so hard, is extreme endurance races. And I'm not an endurance racer. As you can tell, I got a bit of package. I'm not the lightest. You don't look at me and say like, oh yeah, that guy's run a marathon before, right? No. And I've only ever ran 2 marathons, but let me tell you, I did not expect the Inca Trail Marathon to do that well. Honestly. And I surprised myself, as I did with my first marathon. So, can I continue surprise myself? How much further can I push it? Like, an Ironman. Dude, if you're gonna follow me, I've already signed up for an Ironman in November 10th. I still don't know how to swim. Like, back in Mexico last year, I really didn't know how to swim. I would have drowned. But like now I'm like, okay, if you want me to swim across the pool or float, like I'm getting my open water diving license. That I can do. It's floating and then swimming 200 meters. I've swam 200 meters once before. I've got to go practice actually, because that's in 2 weeks. But an Ironman is 1.9 kilometers, or pretty much 2 kilometers of swimming. The technique to a freestyle swim or front crawl, I have no clue. I've watched one video. It blows my mind. But watching a video, I still don't know how to freaking swim. I'm insane. Also biking. I've talked to a lot of friends who bike, and just like, I've only have one friend who is technically gone up to 100 kilometers. Most people keep it at the 45, 50 kilometer, and they don't push past that. My first bike ride with him without the biking underwear was 60 kilometers. That was hell. That was not as bad as some things I've done, but like, it was rough. I haven't even done 90 yet, which is what the Ironman requires. And then a half marathon, which honestly, people train up for. I don't want to downplay it, because a half marathon, man, I could pick up and go do that right now. That's not hard. But it's the other things and 2 other completely different aspects of my life that I got to now incorporate and do all of it at once. I'm freaking insane. But I think there's value in that story. I want to more or less put this out for those who I've met during my travels who know me, people who are just tuning in, but really set a tone as to where the heck I am for an Ironman. Nowhere near ready. And I leave in a week for this travel. I've got to like, if I was to train, like there's nothing else going in my life, and just train for an Ironman, absolutely I could do it. But I'm traveling while I'm doing this. I leave to Bangkok in a few days here. I think, what is it? Wednesday? 6 days. 6 days from now, I leave to Bangkok. I am traveling through Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, then flying down to Australia. And then from there, I get to Brisbane, train for a month. And that month, I have to find my bike, my water suit, train for all 3 events, and then make my way down. I'm going to have to go see Sydney. And then once I get to Melbourne, I have to be there a little early to get myself prepared. It's just so much. Yet, it's not impossible. I mean, it's going to be tough. But incorporating those extreme races into my travels is exciting for me. Continuously pushing that limit, pressure. I could just go hiking. I'm already really good at that. I summited a mountain at 6,000 meters up. I like going on 5-day treks that are 20 kilometers a day. I know the knowledge for that. I really could do that. That's already amazing feats, but I need to I need to do stuff that is much harder out of my comfort zone, like swimming, to really go to show that if you put your head to it, you can make it. To sum it all up, I don't know where I was going with all of this, but prospects going to Antarctica has opened up the world, and thinking that if I can go there, I've done something very hard already. The rest of the world is possible. I can definitely go to the rest of the continents and tick that off and say I've been to all 7 continents. And I don't want to just say I've been to all 7 continents. I want to say I've experienced each continent. So I want to see, hopefully, if budget allows, to see at least 3 countries in each continent. So South America is set. Antarctica is not even that's a different story. North America is set. Asia is already set. And Oceania, I'm going to see Australia and New Zealand. Just have to hit 1 more. While I'm in Africa, it's pretty easy to see 3 of them. And if I'm volunteering for months on end, I've definitely experienced some culture of Africa. And then Europe, dude, can you even see Europe within 3 months? No, there's so much to see. 3 countries is easy. I'll just drive from Belgium across Luxembourg into Germany. Heck, I could run it if I wanted to. It's only like 40 kilometers. I'll just do a marathon, start in Belgium, go through Luxembourg, and then finish in Germany within the day. That'd be funny. Yeah, our Antarctica opened up the world to me. These extreme races really puts me on the next level of training, understanding of my own body and mental strengths. And honestly, just aiming for it, which is really hard to do when there's a nice cushy lifestyle back at home. I say back at home, I mean here. Also, I'm going to quickly talk about this. I don't want to talk about it too much. I'm going to give myself like 5 minutes to explain this part. Because the number one question, everyone's like, there's a lot of questions about travel, what I've experienced, fun activities, but a big one is money. Now, I personally don't have any issues about talking money, but it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. And I feel like a lot of you would like to hear and say that, oh yeah, I'm a trust fund kid. My dad has millions. He owns like 3 businesses, and I already own a house that he gave me. No. No. I paid my own education. I didn't go to university because it didn't make any sense to me. You're gonna spend 40 grand to be in debt and then get into a job that's not even guaranteed, and then work for the next year or 2 to pay off that debt? That's like 5 years of dedication to get back to 0. And yeah, you can make a lot of money afterwards, but I don't have that determination for something I don't like. And my family couldn't afford that. I couldn't afford it. My dad definitely can't afford that. So, since I was young, I kind of learned how to deal with money, because I couldn't always get what I wanted. I mean, I got a phone, but it was always on our minds about money, always, as I was growing up. So I consciously knew as I kind of graduated high school, nothing was going to be given to me. I had to kind of work for it if I wanted a better lifestyle. So I did polytechnics as an apprentice mechanic. That was like 2 years of schooling. And then went into the workforce as an apprentice for a year. Didn't like it. Quit. Went to China for a year, or 6 months, sorry. And then afterwards, I went to Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei with my dad. So a whole year of travel. That was 2019. And then 2020, COVID hit, but I was working at this advising job. Did that for 2020, 21, 22, and then a bit into 23. So it was like 3.5 years of working. And that's where I primarily was able to save up for this. I worked 3.5 years. I didn't pay rent. I never moved out. I stayed with my dad primarily the entire time. And the only thing I really bought of significance was my car. And I'm in the industry. I know what I'm doing. If I buy a car, I know it's going to be a good price. I'm going to fix it up. And then I sold it at a profit. So I played to my strengths. I know what's a smart investment for a car, because I could sell it for more. So that helped as well. And then also investments. I didn't think I was very smart in investments 2-3 years ago, but now people are saying like, no, we trust you with, like, I want to see what you do for investments. Like, I don't do anything special. I just put money into a very safe stock like SPF 500 or Apple and just wait. I've put money in, it's just like, okay, I haven't looked at it for like 2-3 years, and yeah, it's gone up, of course. So with all that said, that type of money I'm literally burning through. I'm not making any money while I travel, but I make it last. I'm not going to hotels. If I'm going to, I don't know, Peru, what is the cheapest hostel? And it might be a party hostel because it's dirt cheap, but I like the accommodations. I can sleep through the party. I don't need to party. I stay there. It's like $8 a night. Not bad at all. And then after, when I'm going out to cook, I cook myself sometimes. If it's cheap enough, I'll go out to eat. Again, $5 for a meal. Sometimes. It could be like $3 sometimes. So with all that said and done, like, of course, I've been able to travel for a year, and then the prospects of continuing on isn't out of the realm. I didn't spend all my money in the last year. I saved up a lot for 3.5 years, and I've only traveled for a year. Only traveled for a year. My God, I'm already losing touch. But I'm smart with my money. A large sum of it is still in investments, and that's revenuing up. So what I've spent kind of comes back to me a little bit. And then the rest, as I slowly, it's a slow burn of my savings. That's the best way I can describe it without giving you exactly the dollar amount that you want or most people want, but that's how I've done it. And that didn't make the biggest sense. A lot of people aren't willing to risk their entire savings on a pipe dream of traveling, doing endurance races, and trying to make it online. It is absolutely a pipe dream. I do not expect this to... It would be nice if I made it, but worst case scenario, which is very, very nice, worst case scenario, I come back home, go back living with my dad, and then go back and get my old job. That seems pretty standard of a lifestyle, like normal. That's worst case scenario, which honestly I'm fine with. It is not bad of a backup plan. Now, personally, I feel like talking about all this to a camera and projecting, saying like, this life seems great. Like, I don't know how you guys are doing. I'm not trying to brag here. I am trying to give you perspective as to my life situation in order to travel. I feel like I have a very good, secure backup plan, which is something I've been building for the past 3.5 years. You don't get to see that on camera because that's boring. Like 3.5 years of working at a job. Yeah, anyone can post that. But like what I did during that job, smart investments such as my car, stocks, kept my cost of living stupid low, like living with my dad, buying groceries, not going out. I splurged a little bit. I went to New York for a week. But like I wasn't spending stupid amount of money. The amount of money I spent was always like 10% of what I actually made. I kept it stupid low, and the rest kind of just went to investments. Yeah. I'm kind of grateful for it. It'd be nice to put this money towards real estate because I know that's going to be smart, but I don't really see myself doing that right now. I want to be happy. Talked to my brother last night. We had a little campfire and talked to each other. My brother is smarter than me. So much smarter than me. But he doesn't like... I don't want to make this sound wrong, but he's happy doing what he's doing. Even though what he's doing might not make a lot of money. It might not lead up to buying a house. But he's happy. And for me, I was like, is there anything else in life that he wants to push and do? And honestly, I can't even say he can. Like, he's doing exactly what he wants to do. It's leading up to his dream job. Who am I to say that's the wrong path? To brag about it a little bit, he got second place in cabinet making in Canada. So he's doing well. Yeah, I always thought like maybe he wants to do more on the gaming side, but he's just chilling, relaxed. Can't say I hate it. It's nice. Nice in a sense that he's here to take care of my dad in case anything happens. Don't get me wrong, if anything happens, on a drop of a dime, I'll be back. But it's nice to know that my dad isn't alone. He's got my brother playing games in his room. It is getting so nice out. Also, a little bit of background on what I'm doing. I come here to this spot, this bench, to drink a Jones bottle every time I'm about to leave. When I left for China, when I left for Latin America, I always came here to drink a Jones bottle because it's my favorite drink. Sit in this spot because it's my favorite spot in the city. And project the thought of who I'll be when I get back. When I left for China, I said, I'm going to figure out my freaking weight situation. I mean, I'm almost back up there. It's like 200, I was 210, 215 pounds, pretty much obese at that point. And I said, I'm going to come back in the best physical shape I've ever been in my life. So I lost 40 pounds, was running, and I felt on top of the world physically at that point. And I was able to learn meditation and martial arts, kind of like a childhood dream, watching all those Hong Kong films. That was my Disney. For most people who grew up in Canada or US, you grew up on Disney movies. I grew up on Hong Kong films. So when you go to Disneyland and you have that kid in you come out, it's like, oh my God, it's Ariel. For me, I watched all those Hong Kong films and like they have good amazing morals, being capable and saving those lesser who can't save themselves. When I'm out in China, I'm like, I'm now capable of fighting. And then seeing how like all the monasteries, the temples, I'm like, oh my God, it's a monk. That was the kid in me doing the China trip. And I came back all the more better. It was an amazing transformation. My dad couldn't say anything because my Chinese was better than his at that point. Or should I say I got an accent where I was and he can understand me. But did that for China. And then Latin America, I didn't even know because that was such a longer portion and more things I would have seen. When I left, I knew that I would be experiencing an amazing trip and that I wouldn't even predict what would go on. I had no clue I was going to go to Antarctica. I knew I was going to finish the attempt one of the hardest marathons in the world, the Inca Trail. But I had no clue the amount of people I would meet, the amazing friends I've made along the way, travelers, prospects, knowledge I gained. Like I couldn't have imagined it when I left. And then upon returning, whew, it was hard to put it all together. And then now I'm leaving for another long travel. It's gonna be longer than Latin America. I haven't even been home. It's been 2 months. I spent 2 months in flipping Peru and Argentina. Like I'll be spending 2 months probably in Australia this year. So it doesn't feel like I came back home. I came back like to reminisce about what my old life could have been. And then I'm off again. I'm now more charged and motivated than I was for Latin America. Because I know for a fact, like when I left for Latin America, I didn't know if I could, if when I come back, I would need to come back to a job. I had no clue. But now that I'm back and I've made smart decisions with my money and can afford to continue and know for a fact that despite being gone for a year, the connections I've made during those 3.5 years still hold strong despite being gone for an entire year. And that both my father and brother are doing very well. Like they're healthy, they're going steady. My dad should probably be backing up and retiring, not working as hard, but he's still healthy enough to just still work full time. So he's gonna do that. The life I have here is protected and good. And it gives me all the more power to push as hard as I can in these next coming year to really see how far I can do it. Because worst case scenario, I'll come back. So now that I'm out here thinking about who I'll be when I get back, I have no idea. There's something I want to say, but it's kind of pretentious to say. On this next trip, because I think a big one's duration. China was about 6.5 months. And I'll be completely honest, this last trip was 11.5 months. It wasn't exactly 12, I just round up and say a year. That sounds so much better. But this go around, I haven't had as much time to settle down and reset and prepare myself. I'm just really diving into it, rushing into it. I don't think I'll be back until December of next year. So I'll be about 15.5 months, 15 to 16 months. Or pretty much about 1.25 years, maybe 1.5 years of travel. Again, it's gonna be longer, man. How can I even predict who the person will be when I get back? Well, to be fair, this is what I think, genuinely, if I'm strong enough. The person that's gonna come back in December of 2025, I will have seen all 7 continents. I will have completed a half Ironman. Even if I fail in November, I learned from it. I can do it again. I can sign up somewhere across Europe. I have to find a home base to train a bit more, but it's not impossible. So I think I definitely will finish a half Ironman, even if I fail in November. Gonna gain amazing perspectives from seeing specifically, I think, Africa and Middle East. Those 2 spots are not first world countries. They're gonna give me a true lens of how other people have struggled. of which I've seen in Latin America. I'm going to be able to see a lot of old friends. A lot of old friends. I talked about China. I plan to see at least 5. Okay, now maybe not 5, but at least 3 more of them. I have Maya in Spain. She only speaks Spanish, but she's learning English a little bit. And para mí, mi español is más o menos. No sé. So I'll get to go see Maya. Utred. His name was Robert in China. He changed his name to Utred. Bruv, why you gotta make it hard on me? He's in Scotland. I know I'm gonna be seeing him. Who else? Ooh, I'd like to see Lucien. He's from France. I have his contact on Facebook, but I gotta reach out to him.
There's an eagle just down here sitting on a dead tree overlooking the river.
Get a good shot of that. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
So nice. But yeah, so those 3 from China. And then this last trip, I'm gonna see, once I get to Europe specifically, I'm gonna see Simone. We traveled for 2 weeks across Bolivia. We saw the Amazons, some to Huayna Potosi. There's good videos on those that are, one to come out, one has already been posted. Nicholas from Germany. And Nicholas, I apologize if you're watching this. I highly doubt it. I wasn't really filming that much in Nicaragua. I was kind of enjoying it. But I had an amazing time with him because we traveled across Nicaragua to see, what did we do? Oh my gosh. It was Omotepe. I had a motorcycle accident there. He was also there when we first learned how to surf. And we also partied for an entire week. Hard. We were drinking Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And a lot of alcohol. So I can't wait to see Nicholas again. Arun. I met Arun so weirdly because Nicholas and I met also Manuel. Manuel is also from Germany, and he also traveled separately. So Manuel and I reconnected in Panama, and he introduced me to Arun. And Arun and I went out for simply one tour to San Blas Islands. Beautiful. It rained for the first portion, but beautiful. And then as Arun and I got to talking, we really connected. We have the same birthday. And I'm going to travel with him for a majority afterwards of my Ironman.
You're such a suck, Reg. Good boy, Reginald. Good boy.
A lot of people walk by through here. Again, it's a beautiful spot. But yeah, as I was saying, Arun. So I know I'm going to connect with a lot of people on my travels. And I hope also, I don't want to lose touch with my friends here in Canada. We'd usually have a weekly call. It hasn't happened in a while, but I do value them. Keeps me grounded, keeps me up to date with them. And it doesn't feel as much time has passed. If I go a whole year and a bit without talking to them, I will have too much to catch up with them. I'll be a completely different person. But talking to them almost on a weekly basis allows me to brag about my life. Oh, that just came out naturally. I don't mean to brag, but keep them up to date with what I'm doing. Oh, that was bad. But I also am interested in how they're doing, because their life has changed drastically in the last year. 2 of my friends have moved to different sorry, I take that back. One friend has moved from one place to another in Vancouver. Another had a new job prospect and moved as well. Now he's doing long distance. And then one friend has bought a house. Another friend has now his master's and he's now looking for a job. Another one also graduated looking for a job. And another has come back from a year-long travel as well. If you watch my, not pocket, like the 101 traveling, Ewan, he's one of them. But main thing is, I like to keep in touch with all of them. I'm interested. They're the close friends I need to keep in touch with. And lastly, as much as it is to keep in touch with everyone and project what I want to do, I would like to make money by the time I come back. If I go for a whole year and give everything I've got, that includes video editing, this vlogging, and like high quality videos, along with like shorts, I guess, to hype up running half Ironman and learning how to swim. I can't imagine not making money. I mean, I don't expect it to be a full-time job. Like, I'm gonna treat it like a full-time job, but if I could make some ad revenue, that'd be great. I'm not talking about thousands of dollars, like 100 or here or two would be great. Make this life sustainable, and then I can continue to do extreme races. Like down the line, that'd be nice to say, hey, if you get me to 100,000 subscribers, I could go run 100 kilometers. Or 1 million subscribers, and then I'll go do an Ironman. Oh, frick, I don't want to do an Ironman. But now that I've put it out there, yeah, make it happen, and you'll see me suffer. It's not even that high. I would even, no, that'd have to be those numbers. I don't think I want to do those two things. But I know I could if I tried. I just don't want to. It scares me. I mean, how can it not? But I've tackled scary stuff, like traveling a year, hardest marathon in the world. Wasn't too bad. Okay, I take that back. It was terrible. You're gonna see in about a few weeks, because I'm still polishing up that video about the hardest marathon in the world. Oh my God, it was suffering. Oh my gosh. But it wasn't impossible. I did quite well. So, with that said and done, I've got to go to the library, edit this together. Not really. It's just one video, upload it. Apparently lack of work does well, because one small tangent afterwards all this, I put 7 hours into editing. Was it 7 hours? No, sorry. I put 14 hours of work into editing my video in Antarctica, which was 7 hours of footage down to 1 hour. And I mean, I did relatively well. I like how I did. And then me and Marissa go and just talk about travel. And then somehow that beats that video. I hate the audio on that. I clipped the things together, like videos together, and did no effort. That was like 20 minutes. And it's done just as well, which makes me mad. Anyway. I'm done talking about in my head what I want to be, who I want to be when I get back. Life prospects, mirroring this book. And the money aspect, why I feel so secure about leaving. It's a lot more in-depth as to my whole thought process while traveling. So now you see where I'm coming from. Rule of thumb, if you've made it this far, thank you. 2, if you've heard all of that, do not judge me at any point or make judgment. Not gonna accept it. I'm doing what I want to do. Couldn't care less. What I vented out, I'm very secure about. And I'm okay willing to share that, because I know for a fact, as I share this, it's gonna help give perspective as to what I'm dealing with. And show that you can probably do it as well. Inspire someone, motivate someone. That's the goal of this. Not doing this to brag. If I was doing this to brag, trust me, it would not be me sitting down on a bench for a full hour. If I wanted to brag, it'd be much more of a go find a nice rental car and get to a probably nicer neighborhood and just film in front of a very fancy house and say like, life is easy, you can do it, you can do this. No, this is tough. I'm making a lot of sacrifices to chase this. want my honesty too? Who the fuck watches all this? I've been going on for 50 minutes. I know, like, the friends I mentioned, they all support me and watch all my videos, like every second of it. You guys are wasting your goddamn time. You guys already know all this. You're just seeing it in video format now. Like, no, honestly, if you're watching what I've done, I hope it inspires you and gets you out there. Like, I don't expect anyone to really watch my full context of these videos, but it builds character, builds a genuine individual. So once you watch more of my vlogs, see what I'm capable of, see where I'm going with this, people will be more intrigued as to where I started. And this is not even where I started. I'm not halfway. I don't know where I am in my journey. I honestly have no clue. I have not made it by any means. And after a year of not making it, I have 86 subscribers? That's nothing to brag about. I don't feel accomplished with that. 200 views on a few videos, like 2 videos, 3 videos. Again, nothing to brag about. I don't think that's successful. Yeah, I haven't made it. Haven't done anything on YouTube per se. That's amazing. But I want to keep pushing because I know for a fact this past year I've been able to inspire a handful of people, which is already a blessing. I'm very happy about that. I can die happy knowing that I've helped inspire some already. It's the fact that I'm continuing that continues to inspire people. The last chapter of my life, a year of travel, people have to, like, if you take a 2-week vacation, which is the standard here in Canada, 2-week vacation for the next 25 years. That's how much time it would take to do what I have done. So I want to continue doing that to show that this is possible. You can enjoy life so much more than you think. It's going to be tough. It's going to be rough. But if it wasn't tough, then it wasn't life. I don't get me wrong. I see trust fund kids. Jesus, they're not living life. They might be on cloud 9 spending millions of dollars or thousands of dollars here and there like it's nothing. But they haven't had it hard, so they can't really fully enjoy it. That's their normal. I'd much rather be down here on a normal playing field and then going up to that level to say, like, oh my gosh, I can appreciate this so much more. I appreciate the connections I have because I've been lonely before. I appreciate the money and luxury I have to travel because I've been broke before. I appreciate every moment of this because at some point it wasn't possible. Man, it's a long journey I've already been on. Far longer than you expect. I'm only just now starting to vlog it and really show, I guess, the benefits of it. But that's not, again, it's not the point of this. I don't want to show you the amazing, beautiful things about travel. You're going to see how long it takes to get to Bangkok. That's going to definitely be one thing. It's 20 hours of flights and layovers. And it's scary to be in Bangkok, honestly. I'm kind of nervous hearing about the news my dad told me. But I'm excited. Excited for everything that's going to come. Because I know I'm going to be back. I know I'm going to be back here and share this wonderful experience with you all. Coming back's been nice. but it's not my life to, not to be cheesy. That rhymed. I'm excited for what's to come. I have no clue what's happening next. I have no idea. I have events in my head that I want to do, places I want to go to, but the people I'll meet, the people you'll get to meet, unpredictable. I'm gonna be thrown a curveball. Something's gonna go wrong. Absolutely. Dude, do you know how many things went wrong in the past year? The food poisoning, my wallet being robbed. I'm now traveling with someone as well, Marissa. That's a whole nother side of things that I haven't even talked about. I'm nervous about that. Like, we're very good friends, but like, we gotta communicate a lot while traveling with someone else and be there for each other. I don't know how I'm gonna handle freaking the Ironman. I have no clue what's next after that. I've been so focused on the Ironman. I don't know if like, is it Nepal probably? I want to climb a mountain. And then after I'm gonna go to Tanzania. Tanzania's, I've never been to the continent, and then to go to volunteer for 3 months. It's something everyone says like, oh, I'd love to go do that. I'm like, I want to see what's all about. Like, don't get me wrong. I'd love to help the kids and see that side of the culture. I'm really intrigued by the culture they're living, like how they live, and I want to share some of my knowledge, whatever it might be, with them. It's an experience I want to show you guys, yet also experience to gauge it on what to do in the world. Like Antarctica, I don't think that is anything. I can't even say any normal person should go do that. I think a privileged individual who has time and is willing to risk it should definitely do it. It's much more of a high-end, cushy kind of feel of a trip. But if you want to actually make a difference in the world, you've got to go see what it takes to volunteer somewhere in Africa. Or my host family in Guatemala really put it in perspective as to how much struggle there might be. And my friend in Argentina, he lives in Argentina, man. If anyone knows about their freaking economy, it's done for. So this travel it's not gonna be about, hey, look, I've been to Antarctica. I have done the hardest, it is about my hardest marathons, but like not the luxury part. It's about the benefits you get for traveling, that perspective, along with all the bad as well. Because I'll say this much. The stress I dealt with in my old job, which is managing high-end cars, and then going on travel, there's parts of my travels that I said, I wish I hadn't quit. There's moments. I am down in the dumps. It sucks. And I want to show that. I want to show you that, yes, this might look amazing on Instagram. Some of the things I do are amazing, but I want to show you how hard it gets as well. Because that builds character. And that part I can't predict. With that being said and done, this is just about an hour. This really kind of threw everything, like this is me just rambling on. And you'll get a bit more structure out of me, but in all honesty, if you made it this far again, please let me know what you want to see. I will change it to a perspective that is more desirable, but true to myself, and show you a genuine side of what travel will be and what it takes to push your limits. So with that being said and done, stay tuned, because you're going to see me in Bangkok next. Well, maybe take a flight, but you're going to see a lot of new and amazing adventures.